possess knowledge that very few network marketers will ever have, because you're going to have in your hands the MLM Master Formula. This is the first and only complete formula and plan of action in existence for achieving total success in network marketing. And you're getting it at no cost today. So keep your credit card in your wallet, because there is nothing on this video for you to buy. For the next hour, I want you to pay me not with your money, but with your attention. In giving you this formula, I only have one favor to ask in return, and that is to give me your undivided focus for the next hour. I can't overstate this enough. This may be the most important hour that you spend on your business for the entire year. That's why it's important that if you truly don't have an hour right now, if there's just no possible way that you can spend the next time with me at this exact moment, do yourself a favor, copy the URL of the video, open up your calendar, set an appointment on your phone later tonight, tomorrow, to sit down so you can learn this. And I can't stress enough how life-changing this MLM Master Formula training will be for you. And I would hate for you to miss out on something this good because you're in the middle of doing something right now that you can't get out of. See, when Bill Gates and Warren Buffett met for the first time, their host at dinner was actually Gates' mother. And she asked everyone around the table to identify what they believed was the single most important factor in their success. Gates and Buffett gave the same one-word answer, and that was focus. So do whatever you have to do to focus with me, not for me, but for you. Hold off on social media dopamine hits, turn off your email, turn off your private messages, set the kids to watch Disney for a while. Life will still be here an hour from now. You won't have missed a single thing, I promise. What I would be worried about is not knowing the MLM Master Formula. And I got to tell you, this is not some rehash training that you've seen 1,000 times where I'm going to say things like, you got to believe, you got to have faith, you got to have a why that makes you cry. Listen, I'm not going to waste your time telling you what you already know, what you've already heard. I'm also not going to hype you up on the latest, greatest recruiting fad that sounds really cool, but like every other bright, shiny object you've tried, it leaves you even more frustrated than you were before. You're going to leave here with very tangible, real takeaways that will advance your career in network marketing and will make you a more powerful leader. So let's get started. My name is Matt Morris, and I just want you to forget everything that you think you know about what it really takes to succeed in network marketing today. Because I'm going to share with you how I went from being a broke networker, living out of a beat-up Honda Civic, bathing in gas station bathrooms, to becoming a multimillionaire with 700,000 followers on social media, thanks to the MLM Master Formula you're going to be learning today. Now, this is going to be a very different training from anything that you've seen. Now, I don't know where you're at in your career. I don't know what your goals are. Maybe you want the power to just do whatever you want, whenever you want, whether that means traveling the world with your family, or maybe just curling up to watch a movie on a Tuesday afternoon. Maybe you've got a team, but maybe it feels like you're spinning plates trying to keep it going and you're stuck. Maybe you've actually made it. Maybe you're earning a full-time income, maybe even a six-figure income, but you've hit a wall when it comes to developing leaders on your team. So whatever your dream of success is, I want you to know that I'm going to open your eyes up to what's really been holding you back, and I'm going to give you some real answers for taking your life and your business to the next level. So listen, this is not some bullshit motivational training. This is not a sales pitch for some crappy course. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. And I'm never going to be the leader who makes it sound like it's all sunshine and rainbows shooting out of your butt. I am here for one thing, and that is to transform our industry. And the only way to transform our industry is to transform future leaders like you. And just a fair warning, while I'm one of the biggest ambassadors and supporters of the network marketing profession, heck, I own a network marketer, some of what I tell you is most likely going to scare you away if you're not totally committed to network marketing. And so I'm going to share with you what are really some kind of disturbing truths that I believe are crippling our profession. But here's what I know. Denying the truth, or worse yet, hiding the truth, is not going to fix the problem. So what's the problem? Well, if you got into network marketing thinking that you'd be making a lot more money than you are by now, then that's a problem. But you're in good company, because network marketers today more than ever are at a loss on what to do to make it work, and they're dizzy from going in circles. And I get it. I understand exactly what they're going through, because it's what I went through for 5 years. Maybe you relate to this. You get motivated. You attend an event, a Zoom, you listen to a motivational video, someone from your company, you get pumped up and you have this burst of motivation, but then a day or two later, you wonder what the hell happened. Where is that fire that was inside me? And I get it. In today's day and age, network marketers are bombarded with the latest, greatest, hot new recruiting strategy that some guru pitches online. So they buy yet another course, another ebook, thinking it's going to solve all their problems, be it a TikTok follower strategy, maybe it's a direct messaging script, but it doesn't actually help. It's this constant search for the one thing, that magic bullet that's going to create a tsunami of people wanting to sign up, but it doesn't work. So they go back to doing what they know, numbing out, watching TV, YouTube, scrolling through social media, cleaning their home office, buying stuff they don't need, planning to-do lists, resetting goals for the 800th time, and whatever other convoluted plans that make them feel productive in the moment. And they do that until the next burst of motivation hits, and they repeat the cycle all over again. And every revolution of this cycle drives them even more and more mad, getting more and more frustrated, feeling more and more powerless, until despair sets in, and they eventually give up on network marketing altogether. And I call this the MLM cycle of insanity. And you know what? It's not their fault. And it's not your fault. If you've been struggling to break through, it's not your fault. You just haven't been given a full plan for success in network marketing. And although it's not your fault, it is absolutely your responsibility to get it handled. And let me just tell you this, it's not going to be easy. I have made every mistake in the book. I know what it's like to succeed at the highest levels, earning over $20 million. I also know what it's like to feel like you're just grinding it out. It took me 5 years to get to a full-time income. I cannot tell you how incredibly frustrated it is. I know what it's like to have it all and then lose it multiple times, build it all back over again, bigger than before. I've wanted to quit 1,000 times. I know what it's like to feel totally, completely defeated, wondering if there's ever going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. If you've ever felt that way, I get you. I can only hope that the MLM Master Formula is going to be that light for you. Now, I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about myself, but I do think it's important to know that you're spending time with someone who is actually credible, not some fly-by-night MLM guru full of fancy words and fake suits. And so, like I said, my name is Matt Morris. I've been in the network marketing profession for the last 26 years now. Have been the #1 income earner in 3 different companies. My organizations have produced well over $2 billion in sales, have generated well over $2 billion in revenues, 2.5 million customers, have spoken at many of the industry events like Network Marketing Pro with Eric Worre, the Association of Network Marketing Professionals. Actually owned my own network marketing company for 5 years. I'm the author of multiple best-selling books, have spoken to crowds totaling hundreds of thousands of people in 36 different countries over the last 20 years. Have been blessed with 3 amazing children and a beautiful family, and I live here in Dallas, Texas. Now, for the last 20 years, I've been able to travel and adventure around the world to over 84 countries. And if I didn't discover the master formula that I'm teaching you today, I would not be here. Now, I don't know if you've ever done this, but I thought for so long, maybe I'm just not cut out for this network marketing thing because I suck so bad. And listen, as I say all of this, I'm grateful for the incredible challenges that I went through early in my career, because by learning how to overcome those challenges, I've been able to now help thousands of other network marketers do the same thing and get to a full-time income. Many of those becoming multiple 6, 7-figure per year earners. Now, before I reveal the formula, there is an ugly truth about network marketing that most companies and most top leaders, for that matter, don't want to talk about. They shy away from it and they pretend it doesn't exist because they don't want to scare you away. It's the ugly truth about attrition, which is a fancy word for quitting. Now, before I get into the statistics, let's just talk about the industry size. Now, the network marketing profession does approximately $179 billion in annual sales with approximately 125 million distributors. And we know that millions upon millions of people join our profession every single year. I'll give you my data in a minute, but if we just use these 2 sources that verify my data, they say the exact same thing. Solvina Consulting says that according to the Direct Selling Association, the average direct selling company retains only 20% of those enrolled a year earlier. You can look on the top media sites for network marketing from my friend Ted Knighton, who's has dozens of MLM companies as clients, and he states that on average, the retention rates are 15 to 20%. So every year, tens of millions of people join network marketing, and a year later, on average, 80% of them are gone. Now, when I owned my own network marketing company, I tracked our retention rates, and it ranged anywhere from 17 to 30% with an average of around 24%. Now, I thought we were doing terrible, but we were actually doing better than average. Sure, there's companies out there that talk about having a 90% retention rate, but the companies doing that are referring to month-to-month retention rates. That means they're losing 10% of their distributors every single month. See, I call this perpetual attrition the ongoing MLM exodus. Some of you might be aware of this, and for some of you, maybe this is a wake-up call. At least half of the people who are watching this video right now, if not more, will have given up on their dreams and be settling into a lifetime of 9 to 5 by this time next year. That's a crazy thought, and it doesn't have to be this way. A year from now, the viewers of this very training will be divided into those who survived and those who didn't. And this is the big elephant living in our industry, where everyone knows that so few people ever turn a profit, never see success in network marketing, but they pretend it's the opposite. And listen, I'm all for focusing on what you want, being fiercely committed in spite of the statistics and beating the odds. But let's stop bullshitting ourselves and let's talk about the truth. Because if we're realistic about the dragon that we're up against, we can have the power to slay it. And the more we pretend everyone is instantly successful and we walk around with plastic smiles and insane delusions, the harder it is to actually break this cycle. So here's what we want: informed optimism, not uninformed optimism. One develops wisdom, the other blind ignorance and false expectations. So I know this is controversial. I know there's going to be leaders out there upset that I'm talking about this, but I believe there's too many network marketing trainers and leaders that unknowingly set their students up for failure from the start. This is a perpetual and constant issue responsible for killing millions of dreams every single year without fail, and the very reason why it's so important for me to update our industry with a master formula for continual progress and success. So this is why I have spent literally 2 decades obsessing over what separates the top earners from everyone else. This is why I feel the need to step up and help raise the standards of our profession so that more committed people like you can step up and succeed as a leader and actually have the power to help others succeed as well. And listen, I'm not saying I have all the answers to changing the face of network marketing. I don't. As much as I believe in this profession, as committed as I am and as passionate as I am, we are not going to change these statistics overnight. I can't save all the millions of people, but there is one thing for damn sure: I can save you, and I can give you a real formula that works every single time if you're committed to following the process. Now, a big reason why I've been able to discover and refine a master formula for network marketing is because I've spent 26 years in the trenches, building teams all over the world. I've identified exactly what works and exactly what doesn't work. I've made every mistake in the book 1,000 times. Now, it's also why I've been able to help thousands and thousands of people get to a full-time income, many that have gone on to 6- and 7-figure earners. People who you normally wouldn't have looked at and said, man, they're a natural in business. People like my friend Sachin Govender here in South Africa. He got started with me at 18 years old, and in just a few short years became a multi-millionaire, driving a Ferrari and an Aston Martin, and he bought an ex-president's mansion. People like Jay Peso, who was a FedEx driver, and a few short years later reached the top rank of the company and has spent the last 9 years owning his life. People like Michael, who was an unemployed construction worker, spent his unemployment check to get started, and a few years later he got to over $1 million a year and bought a Rolls-Royce Dawn. People like Dennis, who rocketed to the top and bought his dream Ferrari. And listen, I could give you a long list of others who I've directly worked with that have been able to fire their boss, earn 6 to 7 figures, travel the world, and live life on their terms. And listen, I will never, ever take credit for someone's success. These are leaders who plugged into a structured training system. They applied what they learned, and now they live what most would consider to be a dream life. Now, let me just ask you, how would it actually feel to finally break through and start having the kind of momentum and success that you see other people having? How would it feel to know that it's your turn? And I'll warn you, there are trainers out there claiming to have a complete system for success in network marketing, but I will tell you, in 26 years, I have just never seen it. They may be offering pieces or tactics of a system, but never an entire system. So what happens is the pieces fail when you use them because it's not complete. Most likely, they're inventing an unproven system that sounds great, but it's never actually worked in the real world. So many well-intentioned trainers are all motivation and no action. So they spout off things that they heard from someone else, like you got to believe, just go show more people, you got to have a why that makes you cry, all that tired stuff that we've heard a million times. And listen, I was as bad as any of them when I first became successful in network marketing. You see, I just grinded it out for so long. After 5 years, eventually I figured it out. And I got to a level of unconscious competence, which is not a bad place to be, but because I didn't know what I was actually doing, I certainly couldn't teach it and I couldn't duplicate my success. So the ugly truth is that the vast majority of leaders today who are scraping by and maybe at a full-time income or even 6 figures are like I was. They have unconscious competence, but they can't deconstruct their competence in order to give someone a true, accurate, and complete system for success. This is why they stay stuck and they can't figure out how to crack through to that multiple 6 to 7 figure per year level. The MLM Master Formula, as I call it now, has been perfected over the last 20 years and is partly responsible for the success of thousands and thousands of people at this point. Now, this is over 2 decades in the making. It's the first and only complete and virtually guaranteed system for transformation in your network marketing business. And I also guarantee you that no other leader in any company can give you a system anywhere on the same planet as this unless they're an obsessed maniac with over 2 decades of experience and they've done a 2-decade-long deep dive into leadership, human behavior, and psychology like I have. So, are you ready to learn the formula? Let's get into it. So grab your pen and write this down. This is the master formula. Success equals EM plus IM plus LM times PAL. I'm going to deconstruct all of this with you. So let's begin with the first 3 pieces of the formula. What I have found after 20 years of building network marketing organizations and mentoring top leaders is that there are just 3 strategic pillars to network marketing freedom that the top leaders have mastered, whether they're conscious to it or not. If you're missing any one of the 3 pillars, you end up completely sabotaging the other 2. So if you don't have all 3, you remain stuck year after year after year, like I did for my first 5 years. Now, if you've been stuck as well, this is why. I've spent 20 years discovering and figuring out these 3 pillars and distilling them down to the ultimate practical essentials within each pillar. Now, I'm going to warn you right now, these pillars are not sexy. While many of the frameworks within the pillars are transformational, the pillars themselves are not bright, shiny objects. They're based on real, solid, and foundational principles that work every single time. Now, I could explain the 3 pillars to you, and you'd understand them intellectually, but these are so important. I want you to get this on a gut level. So instead of me just teaching them, we're going to actually do an exercise together, and we're going to score and rank your level of mastery in each pillar. That's why you need to have your pen. Now, I call this little exercise the leadership effectiveness formula. So let's write this down. We're going to go through each pillar together one by one, and at the end, we'll add up our scores and we'll see where you stack up on the leadership effectiveness scale. This determines your income. Now, it's only going to take a few minutes, and when you're done, you're going to have a brand new insight as to why you've been struggling, why you are where you are, and you'll understand very clearly exactly what you need to be doing to move forward to the next level. So the first strategic pillar is your EM. This is your external mastery, your external skill mastery. I told you, not sexy, right? But without these specific skills, success is impossible. The good news is there's only 7 key skills that you must get mastery over to become a top leader. So let's write these down. Number 1 is prospecting. Number 2 is inviting. Number 3 is presenting. Number 4, following up and closing. Number 5 is getting a new representative started. 6 is promoting events. And then 7 is you actually training. Now, of these key skills, skills 1 through 4 are the most critical to master in the beginning stages because they're all about recruiting, which if you don't get mastery over, you'll never even get to the point where you because they're all about recruiting, which if you don't get mastery over, you'll never even get to the point where you need skills 5, 6, and 7. Now, when it comes to recruiting and gaining mastery in the external skills, in today's world, this means recruiting on social media. So right now is the single best time in history for network marketing and specifically building through social media. More people than ever before in history are looking to work from home. And so think about this, because of the pandemic, for the first time in history, literally every leader was forced to understand the importance of not only building on social media, but primarily building on social media. Even the most old school leaders have come around to the realization that if you're not using social media to build your business, you are a dinosaur and you will become extinct. Now, if you haven't mastered the social media recruiting system, for most people, this should be your number one priority. That's why I created my social recruiting system that I've used over the past decade to personally sponsor hundreds and hundreds of people with the exact system the people I mentor are using to consistently and predictably recruit new people every single week. It's the fastest, the easiest way to quickly master skills 1 through 4, and it is the best system I've seen for mastering the recruiting process. Now, how we do that is partly thanks to my CARE method. Now, this is a unique framework. It's a step-by-step plan for recruiting on social media. And I don't have time to get into the specifics right now, but if you're serious about building a business through social media, you need to make sure you follow a similar framework. And so very briefly, the CARE method is this. Number 1 is the C is for clarity. This is understanding how to position yourself to your ideal customers. Now, if you're marketing to everyone, you're marketing to no one. A very incorrect and an amateur belief is that everyone is your prospect. Okay, so C is clarity. Next, A is attract. You need to be posting daily posts that grab attention, that speak to your ideal customer, and that create engagement and starts conversations. Next, the R is for relationship. You need to be able to pique interest the right way with your prospects, move them from a stranger to a friend, from unknowing to motivated. And I learned this from thousands of messages to create a system that works and one that's allowed me, my coaches, and my students to make thousands and thousands of sales. Now, if you're wondering, it is not blind messaging thousands of people. I've been there, I've done that, got the t-shirt. I didn't like it one bit. And then finally, the E is for enroll. Now, the job of marketing is to make selling superfluous, meaning you don't have to be a superstar salesperson when you have a system that finds quality prospects, it warms them up, gets them motivated, and gets them ready to take action. Okay, so let's see how much mastery you've achieved in this pillar. Give yourself a score of 1 to 10 when it comes to your external skill mastery. So if you're enrolling 2 to 5 people a week consistently, and you've also mastered skills 5, 6, and 7, where your team is duplicating like crazy, you might be anywhere from a 7 to a 10. If you haven't enrolled anyone, right now you'd be a 0 on the scale. If you've enrolled a people, but you're struggling with duplication, you might be a 3 or a 4. So go ahead and write down your score, because we're going to need your score from this pillar to come up with your overall total. Now, the second strategic pillar is IM, internal mastery. This is your inner game. This is your mindset and ultimately how you show up in the world. Now, what we have to really get here is that your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. If you have scarcity and struggle in your outer world, it's because you have scarcity and struggle in your inner world. This pillar is much less sexy than the first pillar because we naturally want the bright, shiny objects and the stuff that we can go do. But without mastery in this pillar, none of the external skills that we just talked about are going to work as maybe you've experienced. So what is inner game? So have you ever had a hard time getting yourself to do the things you know you need to do? Well, inner game is harnessing the power of internal self-motivation. It's your level of confidence. It's your determination. It's your discipline. And when you've mastered the inner game, you move forward in life powerfully. You have a purpose that inspires you to your core. And mastering the inner game is when you're in flow. It's when success comes to you naturally because of the person that you are. And where the first pillar is all about what to do, the second pillar is all about who you are. And getting mastery over your inner game and pairing it with proven frameworks and strategies from the first pillar allow you to step into your power as a leader and literally become a magnet to the people around you, regardless of how uncharismatic you may feel right now in your life. So transforming your inner game is also going to enable you to consistently beat procrastination. And you'll find yourself automatically doing the things that you should do, and you remain consistent with your actions. So when you master this pillar, you're able to overcome fear and act out of courage to make bold moves. This is where I struggled for years. I mean, I believed that I was too young, not smart enough, too shy, didn't have enough confidence, so many other self-limiting beliefs. And over the years, because I studied the science of the mind like a madman, I developed several specific strategies and frameworks to overcome my crap. And as I mentioned earlier, I am so grateful today that my score was so low in this pillar because it allowed me to use those same strategies that transformed my life to transform so many other lives. Now, one unique strategy that I consistently use with the leaders that I mentor is a concept that I've trademarked. I call it psychological fuel stacking. Now, this is where I help my students create a powerful manifesto, one that allows you to strategically rewire your mind for success. It allows you to create a powerful vision for your life that acts like a magnet, pulling you towards your destiny. I give daily power rituals to program yourself to think, act, and produce like a $1 million earner. It also includes very specific and very defined personal growth and character development plan. So sadly, the reason most fail is because they have no plan. They float around like a ping pong ball in the ocean with no force driving them to where they want to be. So mastery of the inner game is about giving you power, not a dictatorial power over anyone else, but power to control your own circumstances. So let's see how much mastery you've achieved on your inner game. So how would you rate yourself in this strategic pillar? So do you have a defined personal growth plan? Are you overflowing with confidence? Have you mastered overcoming fear, or do you maybe hesitate when it comes to stepping out of your comfort zone on a regular basis? Are you consistent every day in taking the actions you know you need to take? Do you live by a set of powerful core values? Do you have a purpose that guides you? Do you have a clear personal vision for the person you ultimately want to become? So on a scale of 1 to 10, go ahead and write down your score. Now, the third strategic pillar is LM. This is leadership mastery. While the other two pillars are critical, if you master those, and even if you become a master recruiter, you have a very low-paying job without duplication. See, freedom comes from duplication and the production of leaders. And if you haven't mastered the leadership pillar yourself, you can expect to help others master it. And until you do so, your organization is always going to be dependent on you. Now, when you master this pillar, you experience real and true freedom because you become completely insignificant to the growth of your organization. There are 5 levels of leadership, and you must master how to get from one level to the next. So here are the levels. First is student, next is producer, next is leader, next is leader producer, and then finally the 5th level is leader duplicator. Now, if you haven't personally sponsored at least 30 people, you're not a serious producer. Now, I don't have time to get into the specifics of each level, but advancing from one level to the next is as simple as helping others get to the level you're at. Now, the key is knowing how to train others, having the conscious confidence to mentor them, and not being an amateur leader that spouts off the typical cliche things like, just go show more people. Now, I teach my students specifically what they need to be doing and exactly what to focus on at each level to get to the next level. Now, note, you cannot skip one level. And the number one level that most people try and skip is producer, which is why my mentoring focuses so heavily on recruiting and the social recruiting system. Now, let's create your score for the third strategic pillar. So from 0 to 10, do you know what your focus should be at each level? Is your team duplicating like crazy? Are you insignificant to the growth of your team? Do you know how to troubleshoot a leader when they come to you and they're stuck? Do you know what to tell them? Do you know the questions to ask? So go ahead and give yourself a score from 0 to 10. Now let's get your overall score. So multiply each of the 3 scores to get your overall number, and this is your leadership effectiveness score. Note that if you're a 0 in any of the 3 pillars, your overall score is a 0. Now, if you look at the scale here, if you're a 0 to 50, you're incapable of leading any size team. 51 to 200, and you're capable of leading small teams, maybe 10, 20, 30 people. If you're 201 to 300, you're capable of leading medium-sized teams, maybe 50 to 200 people, which is going to be maybe getting to that full-time income range. And then if you're 301 to 500, you're capable of leading large teams. And then anything over 500, and you're a globally known, sought-after leader earning multiple 6 to 7 figures a year. Now, here's the biggest challenge for network marketers. Almost everyone, when they join network marketing, they come in at a very low level in each of the three pillars. So let's take the average network marketer who joins network marketing in year one. There may be a 2 in external mastery, a 1 in the inner game, and then a 3 in leadership. So when you multiply 2 times 1 is 2 times 3, your total score is a 6. So incapable of leading any size team. And so then in year 2, let's say they attend some company events, they read some books, they watch some YouTube videos, they raise their score in each pillar by 1. So they're a 3, a 2, and a 4. So 3 times 2 is 6, times 4 is 24. Still incapable of leading any size team. I mean, maybe they've recruited 1, 2, 3 people, but they're not leading a team. So year 3, they attend more trainings, they read more books, they watch some YouTube videos, and they do what the average network marketer does, which is the shotgun approach to network marketing and personal development, and they increase their score by another point each. So they're a 4, a 3, and a 5. So 4 times 3 is 12, times 5 is 60. They can lead small teams. 3 years in, and they're still only capable of leading a small team nowhere close to a full-time income. Now you can see why so many people quit the network marketing profession. So again, in year 4, they increase by 1. They're a 5, a 4, and a 6. 5 times 4 is 20, times 6 is 120. Still only a small-size team. Year 5, 6, a 5, and a 7. Their score is 210, medium-sized team. So 5 years to maybe get to a full-time income. This is why our profession has such a high percentage of people quitting. And again, it doesn't have to be this way. As you can see, it's these 3 pillars together that lead to dramatic success. Any training without combining these 3 pillars creates automatic failure. And this is why so many network marketers fail. See, when you get coaching and mentoring that raises your score dramatically in all 3 pillars, it creates a kind of synergy that gives you a rate of progress unheard of in our profession until now. It's almost like magic, but this is not a magic pill. In fact, it's better than a magic pill for the students that I've mentored. This is mastery. This isn't doing something that maybe works one time. This is transformation at the highest level. Now, when you start rapidly improving in these 3 pillars, at the same time, life changes and it changes fast. When I got these 3 pillars dialed in, I went from being a complete unknown, working as a waiter, living at home with my mom, struggling for 5 years, to 90 days later getting to $2,000 a week, and then $10,000 a week after 6 months, and then becoming the #1 income earner in my company at 25 years old. I kept learning, I kept focusing on these pillars, and by the age of 29, I had over $1 million in the bank. Now, I'm telling you from my own personal experience and the experience of so many of those that I've been blessed to work with, that people's jaws drop to the floor when they see how fast you're progressing compared to just a few months before. Leaders in your company, they start whispering to each other about you, wondering what you're doing. Your family starts wondering what the heck has gotten into you. You find people on social media, they're attracted to you like a magnet, and all of a sudden, you're dominating social media with far less effort than you're putting in right now. The frustration of not enrolling people becomes a problem that you watch getting smaller in your rearview mirror. Now, the real question is, how can you advance in each of these 3 pillars as fast as possible without plateauing and feeling stuck? And this brings me to the second part of the MLM Master Formula, times PAL. What is PAL? Well, I'm going to introduce you to what I call the power acceleration levers. So write these down. These are 3 superchargers for advancing much faster than everyone else and giving you a quantum leap in your success. So, power acceleration lever #1. This is having a specific plan. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you ever sat down at your desk, like filled with optimism for the day ahead, only to kind of flounder around trying to figure out what it is you should be doing in the first place? Or maybe you finished your day, which felt extremely busy, only to realize that you have no results to show for it. Nothing to let you know that you got any closer to your goals that day. Well, yeah, me too. Until I created a strategic and a specific plan for my life and my business. What do you do every single day to get you closer to your goals? Do you have a personal and professional growth plan with a daily method of operation, something that you can rely on every single day that tells you the exact action that you must take to get to where you need to go? Lacking a strategic and a specific plan ultimately leads to frustration, paralyzing overwhelm, lack of focus, bright, shiny object syndrome, Next comes doubt, not only from yourself, but from significant people in your life. They start taking notice that you're not moving forward. They start to voice their concerns, which only undermines your confidence even further. Negative self-talk kicks in and you start telling yourself things like I did, like maybe I'm crazy for even trying this. I know because I've been there. This is why it's important for you to have daily and weekly action plans so you don't have to ever wonder what to do. You simply execute and take action. Next, power acceleration number 2 is mentorship. What brought me from 5 years of failure, earning $10,000 a week within 6 months, was working directly with a mentor who could actually teach me. So if you want to become a 6 or 7 figure earner, the fastest way to get there is to have direct mentorship from someone who's actually done it. Now, part of the reason I struggled for 5 years was that I never had the opportunity to work with someone on a regular basis who had made millions of dollars. My direct upline, they had more success than I did, but they were still trying to figure it out themselves. See, when I had regular coaching from a multi-million-dollar earner, it was like a supercharger for my success. Now, power acceleration lever number 3, accountability, which is severely lacking in our profession. Now, a recent study on accountability was done by the Association for Talent Development. And the researchers found that individuals have the following probabilities of completing a goal by taking these actions. So having an idea or a goal, they're 10% likely to complete the goal. Consciously deciding that they're going to do it, 25%. Deciding when you'll do it, 40%. Planning how to do it, 50%. Committing to someone else that you'll do it, 65%. But look at this. Having a specific accountability appointment with someone you've committed to, 95% chance you'll accomplish your goal. And we've all heard that you're more likely to achieve a goal by writing it down, right? I think what we need to say is that by having a scheduled accountability with someone, you have only a 5% chance of not achieving your goal. It's incredible. The bottom line is that you're always going to progress much faster if you have a system of accountability in place. So these are the 3 power acceleration levers, and that was the MLM Master Formula, the only complete plan ever created for network marketing. Now that you know exactly what you have to do to get to where you want to go, you need to decide how you're 3 options. So option number 1 is once you've learned this stuff, you do nothing. You allow most of the formula to be forgotten and you go back to doing what you've always done. Nothing changes, and statistically speaking, actually most of the people who watched up to this point are going to take this action. The second option, you try to master the formula on your own. You add it to the huge list of things that you need to figure out, and you try piecing it together without a structured plan. Now, the third option is you let me and my team help you. Now, after 20 years of being in the trenches, building teams at the highest levels, in the past couple of years, I've been blessed to build the #1 transformational coaching company in network marketing. Now, as the CEO of Network Marketer, I've assembled a team of transformation specialists and coaches that I've personally trained whose sole purpose is to simply assist network marketers in achieving success. Now, here's the deal. For a limited time, I'm having my coaches set aside some time in their calendar to get on the phone with you, dive into your business, find out where you're at, and based on your unique situation, they'll give you a path to rapidly growing your network marketing business. Again, there is no one-size-fits-all cookie-cutter solution. So what they recommend for you is based completely on your unique situation. They may give you some quick personal coaching. They might give you a free resource from one of our vault of trainings, or for a very small percentage, they may recommend direct coaching and mentorship from me directly. Now, what you need to know, and this is important, they have nothing to sell you on this call. This is a totally free coaching session that I'm doing for 3 main reasons. And I believe it on just being totally upfront. Reason number 1, I know you're savvy enough to realize that we are running a business and we do sell coaching programs. Now, it is a very small percentage of you that would end up becoming coaching clients to work with me directly. If you're the kind of person who has massive goals, you're totally committed to becoming a top earner, we have a network marketing inner circle program that gives you mastery in each of the 3 pillars, giving you specific frameworks and the strategies that I've used to build an organization of 2.5 million people, help hundreds of people become top earners. And listen, this is not for most people that we talk to. Only a very small percentage of people even qualify for this. It's not cheap. It includes extreme accountability, and you have to be okay with me kicking you in the ass through an 8-week intensive program. So that's reason number 1. The second reason we're offering this free coaching call, while it's available, is this. We've become the #1 transformational coaching company in network marketing because of one overarching value, and that is impact. By obsessively helping people and providing a positive impact in the lives of committed network marketers like yourself, even though we do it for free, when we help you and you start making more money and you start advancing in rank, who are you going to come to when you're ready for advanced coaching to take your business to the next level? You'll come to us. So that's reason number 2. And reason number 3 is whether you become a client or not, I genuinely want to help you. I realized a long time ago that fulfillment comes much more from what you give than what you get. And for the last several years, I received near daily messages from people thanking me for the positive impact that I've had in their lives. And that feels good. So if you'd like us to help you build your business, you can book your free coaching call on this page right below. And listen, here's another reason why I'm offering this free coaching. Unfortunately, the way network marketing works is that most network marketers, if they're being directly mentored at all, they're being mentored by their upline who has not earned multiple 6 to 7 figure incomes. It's why I struggled for years. I never had that direct mentorship from a 7-figure earner. In almost every case, the leader that is actually earning 7 figures is so far upline that they don't have time to work with you. And it's just the way network marketing works. So if you're not being mentored by a 7-figure earner directly, you're stuck. So you have to take your own destiny into your own hands and go to the source and learn directly from someone who's actually earned 7 figures a year, someone who's personally sponsored hundreds and hundreds of people, someone who's already created hundreds and hundreds of 6 to 7 figure earners. So whether it's me or someone else, if you want to be a top earner, you got to get outside help. Now, fair warning, I highly recommend you book your call as quickly as possible because once the schedule gets filled up, we have to close down the schedule for a while. It'll reopen eventually, but if you want us to help you now, go ahead and book your call, and we'll be excited to help you like we have for many of our students over the years. People like Stone Evans, who sent me this. By following Matt's advice, I've been consistently earning well over $15,000 per month in residual income for the past 2 years working from home on the internet. Ned Ray, who said, since learning the techniques Matt taught me, I've been able to earn a residual income from home, allowing us to live a millionaire's lifestyle. In the last 6 months alone, we've vacationed to London, Spain, Hawaii, Malta, France, and Italy. The best part about our life is that I've been able to be a stay-at-home dad for the past 7 years. My great friend Efrosini Adamides from Cyprus, who said, I was able to create an organization in the hundreds of thousands, earning millions, but also helping many earn 6 and 7 figures. I know that this success would not have been possible without the support and mentorship of Matt. Matt is one of the best leaders in the network marketing profession. He's an artist at creating leaders. And if you're lucky enough to work closely with him, then the best gift you can give yourself is being coachable and teachable, and you'll learn how to be unstoppable. Kevin Wilkie said, just one idea I acted on has turned into more than $40,000 and growing of passive income. Sachin Govender, who said, through Matt's mentorship, I've managed to go from student to 8-figure USD earner. Sujay from South Africa, who said, I went from 0 income in January to earning a 6-figure income in just 18 months, thanks to Matt Morris. And I could give you so many other examples of the hundreds and hundreds of people that have been able to help earn 6 to multiple 6 figures, 7 figures, and achieving financial freedom. Now, if you're ready to start recruiting more people on social media, if you're ready to start advancing in rank, making more money, and fine-tuning your leadership skills so you can help other people reach their goals, go ahead and book your free coaching call below. The process is simple, it's quick, it's easy. You'll get on the phone with one of my personally trained coaches, and you will have a profound and an impactful call. Again, as a quick warning, there are a lot of people seeing this training and only a limited number of time slots available. So if you want your free call now before we book up, go ahead and get your call booked now. And just in case this is the first time seeing me, one of the things that I'm incredibly grateful for is that many of the very top speakers and influencers within the network marketing profession have become close friends of mine. And chances are you know some of these, but here's just a few. Ray Higdon, who said Matt Morris really knows what he's doing. Not only is he a best-selling author and just an unbelievable trainer, he's someone you definitely want to get with and learn from because I've learned a lot and he's just so brilliant and such a smart dude. Fraser Brooks, who said, Matt Morris is someone I genuinely stalk on social media. Todd Falcone, who said, Matt is one of the most knowledgeable and talented network marketers I've ever met in my 30-year career in this profession. Rob Sperry, who said, there are very few leaders that I consider truly legends. Matt is definitely one. Jesse Lee Ward, who is a multi-million-dollar per year earner, said there's been several trainings of Matt's that I've implemented into my own business and I've seen great results with. Given the opportunity to get around his business brain, if you're trying to build a large business, don't walk, run. I cannot recommend him highly enough. So once again, if you're serious about growing your network marketing business and you want us to help you recruit more people, make more money, and advance in rank much, much faster, go ahead and book your call now. And if seeing all of this and you know how powerful this coaching will be for you, but maybe you're scared to even book a call because you just feel like you've lost hope in yourself, I want to tell you a quick story. I was actually doing a private mastermind coaching with a small group a few months ago, and I had a guy in the audience ask me a question. He said, Matt, what would you tell the younger version of yourself who had been struggling for 5 years? And no one had ever asked me anything like that before. And I walked up to him. You don't have enough credibility. You're too young. You've failed for years. You've never had success. You don't have it in you. And that is total, utter, complete bullshit. The reality is you have everything it takes to succeed at the highest levels because most people have tons of self-limiting beliefs themselves. And if you'll just step up and go out and have any amount of success, that'll lead to more and more and more success because you will inspire thousands of other people to step out of their self-limiting beliefs and into their power. And you will be one of the biggest, most powerful leaders in the entire network marketing profession. So listen, my friends, I know you think you have things that have held you back, but I'm telling you, just consider this. What if all of those things you think have been holding you back are actually your greatest strength? I am so excited to help you. If you're ready to advance your career in a rapid way,